So what I'm doing today or this morning is I'm working on my lead generation system. So I'm going to share some of that process here. Let me go. Okay, so on the left, I've got my lead gen army, which is a Airtable solution for lead generation, and it's really, really cool. Let me go into school. I'll show you where I got this in school in the Scrapes AI Academy. Um, and right here, this is so Simon, he creates these amazing automations. And this one is a lead gen army. And basically, I watched the YouTube video, but when you come in here into the school, which is a paid community, um, there's you get things like, oh, here we go, the the template complete setup video. It's kind of the same stuff as you get on YouTube, but then down below here you have resources, so you can just make a copy of the Airtable base. You can open up the workflow in N8N, and then there's a step-by-step video. So I actually put this in place before he had the step-by-step video. So I struggled a little bit, but I figured it out. And so I bring that up because, that's the source of what I'm talking about here. And if I go to the actual Airtable itself, I'm not going to do a full deep dive on this. You can just watch that video for it. But it basically has, you can do, like over here, there's Apollo leads. So you can use Apollo, which is like a lead scraping or lead finding type of thing. And then there's Google Maps, and then there's LinkedIn. So for me right now, I'm only using Google Maps. It's the cheapest, kind of free. It's all I really need because I'm looking for exterior home contractors in my local city, Littleton, to start with. And so Google Maps is doing just fine, but I'll show you how this works here in a second. But you use Google Maps, and then it pulls that information into what's this Airtable base called lead lists. And then you can kind of nurture them or nurture those records and search up things like their LinkedIn and Instagram links and all kinds of stuff. But for me, really all I want is the company URL, because then I can click on it and see if they're a potential good fit. So on the right here, I've got my AI. I use Bolt AI, and you can see this is an example of my conversation I was having this morning. My AI is a marketing expert. That's the prompt, how the prompt's built. And so right here, I'm saying, hey, I want to leverage this Airtable in a really simple manner to kind of use this as the way to get the leads. And then I find the right lead that I want by doing a little research. And when I do, I then check a box or indicate in some way that this is a prospect worth reaching out to. And at that point, what I want to do is I want to pull them into high level, where I have a sales pipeline and I'm doing cold calls from that pipeline. So it's kind of a 1-2 type system. This comes first, then a high level. And so what I'm working on right now is just kind of making this a little bit more efficient. And so what the AI bot is, here we go, suggesting, let me move my camera, is a field type called single select with these different options: review, ready to export, not qualified. And that would kind of dictate the kind of, what kind of, lead they would be categorized as. And then it gives me a workflow and a filtered view, needs review. I don't know. So even though I said, hey, I want to keep this really simple, I don't know. I still feel like this is just a little bit too much work. And so one thing at the bottom is, it says here, bonus, keep your last contacted field for Go High Level Sync. When you mark export, it auto-populate today's date. So in the lead list, the last column is last contacted. And so this is kind of a generic system. I mean, it's got all the fields you need to literally do sales calls and things, I think, entirely within Airtable. But I I have a two-tiered system, so I'm taking them from here and going into high level. So I need to kind of adapt the Airtable base to my needs. And what I was thinking is this last contact is, so what if I just did that? So like let's say I'm looking at this bot. What if I just used that field, in other words? So what if I'm looking at this bottom one? Let me open up their website. Okay, they got a nice effect here. But immediately I see at the top, Wix. This website was built on Wix. Create yours today. So what's that about? That's like why would any company have Wix branding at the top? That's ridiculous. They have a phone number. It's not clickable. Book now. Okay, not actually booking. So I'm not here to just totally diss on this site, but I am not. I think this is a perfect candidate because this site is not good in my opinion. Book now. I mean, that doesn't mean fill out a form. That's like book now should give me a calendar. So a lot of things I see immediately with regards to this website. So this is a good candidate. So what I'd want to do is mark them, right? Somehow. So that's what I'm getting at today is like, which of these fields do I mark to say, okay, let's move this one into high level and give them a call. So I'm looking at all the fields that are already in here. Lead score. So, I could say this is like a 10, I guess, or something. Or I don't think that's not, I don't think this is like a formula field, right? So, I could do it that way, I guess. It's just kind of lead score. If lead score is better, higher than 5 or something. So that's one way. I'm just thinking out loud here on how I might want to approach this. But last contacted. So if the thought I had was, instead of adding this single select field and kind of designating who to talk to, I was thinking just use the last contacted field, right? And so if I were to just do today, then I think if I could create a new view grid, I guess, today's exports or something like that. And then Airtable looks a little different. So that's interesting. Airtable moved these little icons way over here to the right. They used to be over on the left, I think. So I want to filter this, add a condition. What was it? Last contacted, exact date, or can I do like today? There we go. Today. Yeah. See, so now I have this company just in here. All I had to do was enter today's date. They go into today's exports, and then I'm going to export that and map it into high level. At some point, I would automate that and have this basically some kind of a button or some way to initiate an automation that takes these records in today's exports and then just automatically pulls them into high level. I think at first I'll do it manually just because I want to get a little more hands-on with high level's import process, because when I get a new customer, hopefully they have a database, of leads or customers they've done business with, and then I need to get that into high level. And I've done that a little bit, but you definitely have to. The success in that all comes down to field mapping. So if they've got some field that doesn't exist yet in high level, you're going to have to go into high level and create that field so you can map it in. And I don't think you can do it in the process of pulling in a list or a CSV file or whatever, which I don't know. Anyway, I don't know why they don't just let you do it in the moment. You have to actually kind of back out of the process and go add the field and then come back in and try it again. So anyway, I just wanted to share this little bit of a process here because this is what I'm working on this morning. Is just spending a little bit of time working on my system. I think every day, one of my goals is to continue to chip away at the systems that drive OK Computer to host smart websites for people, and also yeah, just letting everybody know. So I started up a school community here, right here, called High Level Lab, and I'm the only one in there right now, so I welcome anybody who's interested in the three things that we're focused on here is smart websites, AI employees. So that's basically like any kind of AI integration, and then automation. And for automation in particular, we're probably going to be talking about N8N. But I also have years of experience with Zapier, so I'll probably be talking about that as well. But for now, I'm just kind of highlighting things that I'm finding on my travels as I learn high level to a deep degree. I'm in high level all day, every day now, and just learning as much and as quickly as I can. And so I wanted to have a space. It's a free school, no charge to be in this community. I had initially had a plan to charge $47. I think it was 47 or 49. I think $47 for each member of the school community, and with that, you would get a sub account on my high level platform. And with a sub account, you can pretty much, get up to speed. How does high level work? Automate it. You can do all kinds of things that you can pretty much do for the $97 a month plan. If you go for the $97 a month plan, you're able to create, I think, a total of 3 sub accounts. So you could have one for yourself and 2 more for like your first 2 clients. But my intention was that for people who want high level access but don't want to pay $97 a month, or maybe don't have intentions to grow as an agency, they just want an account. As long as they were a member of school, they would have that sub account. So I think I'm still probably going to have that in place for anybody who's interested in that. But it's not going to be the emphasis of the school right now. The emphasis is on like a laboratory environment where experiments are done in high level with AI and automation. So join me if you're interested in that. Let's make a thriving community around those topics. And one last thing I'll mention about my intent is I'm not a guru. I don't know high level to the extent that like all these other high level people know. Maybe someday I will. But for now, like I don't have a course. I don't have a structured way of saying, here, follow my lead. If you want that, there's endless amounts of YouTube videos and school communities and everything else that you can join to get that. I'm not going to recreate that wheel. So what my intention is to say, as myself and others who join this community, as we kind of learn things together, and that we share them. And it's not going to be all focused around one high level guru's, perspective and path that they're forging. It's more of a community, true community built around high level that doesn't really have that kind of, I am your leader, follow my path kind of thing. So check that out if you're interested. And then finally, I'll just mention for everybody or anybody who's watching, basically, where am I going? I want to go to, let's pull up my site. So this is my site, OK Computer. I build smart websites built on the high level platform, focusing on SEO, lead capturing, automation, and AI. The templates that we use are beautiful, and there's a mobile app with high level, which is really awesome. It kind of surfaces what you need to do for the day as a business owner. Who are your leads coming in the door? Who do you have to contact or follow up with? That kind of thing. So it's really great. So I encourage you to check out my site. And then I will end on this final piece here is that I have a referral system or process in place now. If you refer someone to me and I close them as a client on OK Computer to get a website, I'll give you $100. So if you know anybody who's looking, please send them my way. They can go to okcomputer.foo. All right, didn't mean for this to turn into like a pitch, but that's what I'm doing right now. Is you're watching me live build this business, and I'm trying to be as transparent and show as much as I can when I remember to hit record and do that. That's kind of my new thing I'm trying out, is building in public. So hopefully this is interesting to you. And it's just kind of the way it goes. It's like I'm trying to make money with this here, so I'm going to do some pitching for my school community, for my website, my referral system, that kind of thing. So thanks for sticking with me through that. All right. Well, anyway, I'm going to wrap it here. I've got work to do in Airtable. I realized I didn't really show in Airtable the the way that thing works. So actually, let me do that really quick, and then we'll end it. So it's really easy. So I go to Gmaps leads. I come up with a new query. So what do I want to search for? So I'm going to do roofers, Littleton. I always wonder, like, should I say roofers, roofing? I don't know. I'm just going to do roofers though. And then you get to say what's the maximum number that you want of results back. So I'm going to do 100. I can add some notes if I want, but basically it starts out here. Any new record is in a status of not processed. And then there's a kind of like a button that initiates the process. And that process is this here, this N8N system. Check this out. This is really cool. Right here. It's just amazing. Look at this, what's going on here. But in particular, the one that we're dealing with is really just this path here, the Google Maps scraper. So when I'm in Airtable and I click on Get Leads button, that sends a webhook with this query over to N8N. N8N catches that webhook and then does this, does this whole path of events where it's searching Google Maps and it's talking to the Airtable and it's scraping URLs and filtering them out, removing duplicates, all this stuff. And then at the end here, it's forcing lowercase, removing duplicate emails, all this stuff. But at the end, it updates Airtable. And then I have all this information. And if I want, I can, after I do that, it updates the LinkedIn lead, or not LinkedIn, sorry, the lead lists in Airtable. And it would be under Gmaps here. And then I could, like I mentioned earlier, I could do things from there, like click a button and say, go get their social links. Are they on Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, etc.? So, that would be handy if I, if I wanted to do deeper research basically on them, or, refer to their YouTube channel when I'm doing a cold call, hey, I checked out YouTube channel. It looks really cool. Blah, blah, blah. But that's the great thing about this whole system. It's way overkill for what I'm doing at the moment, since all I really need is the website. So I can click on it and see if it's, if they need a better website. And then I have their email address as well over here. Not all the fields have them. I couldn't find it for these two records apparently, but most of them seem to have it. And so I would pull the email. Do I have their first name? I don't know if I have their first name, which is okay. Yeah, it would be nice to get like their first name and stuff. But anyway, email, company URL, and then I pull that into high level. So let me see here. Let's do this. So I'm going to hit get leads. That kicks off the process. This thing says in progress now. And then if we actually, I think we can watch this in real time here. Yeah. So look here at the bottom. So we have 17 records right now. This should start populating. And we might even be able to see some of this going on. Maybe we have to go to executions. Running right now, July 22nd. Okay. And then these, yeah, here we go. 18, 19, 20. So it's starting to populate these all now. So that's cool. So now all I have to do is go click on the website, and in Arc, my browser here, it just kind of opens it up in like a, I don't remember what they call it, a temporary, there's a name for this that they give it, but it's like a temporary window that just kind of floats above, and all I have to do is look at it and I hit escape to dismiss it. See, so this site, first impression looks good, and like it probably has what it needs. It's got the nice big picture. It's got, really solid call to actions, like a quote calculator. I think that's really smart. I want to see how they do that, because I'd like to bake a roof quote calculator into my template, but it doesn't seem to be loading. So that's interesting. Schedule my free inspection. Let's see if this leads to, yeah, schedule an appointment. Oh, book now. Okay, let's see. Okay, they have a calendar. So that's good. They've kind of got the basics. I would probably look into this a little bit deeper, but I don't know that these people would be someone I'd reach out to. They're pointing out their Google reviews, so they're paying attention to that. I don't know why some of this is not loading up for me though, if that's their site or if maybe I'm having some internet issues. But anyway, that's what I would do. And then I would just go over to last contacted. So I might make a new view. Actually, that's kind of just like a couple of the key fields. This is all the Gmaps. I might make a more customized view. It just shows me a couple of things. So, but anyway, I would update the last contacted. That would put it in today's exports. And then I would go here, and I need to then get this stuff into high level. All right, I'm going to end it there. All right, bye.